Hey guys, Theo here from RugbyGrub, and today I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Whoop activity strap that I've been wearing for the last few months. So this strap is kind of aimed at sports people. The aim of it is to assess your readiness to train by measuring your strain, which is their kind of measure of how hard you're working during the day, your sleep, and that calculates a recovery score based on those two things, your heart rate variability and your resting heart rate. So the idea is that this is kind of like a pretty upmarket, high-tech fitness tracker that's aimed at athletes or people who are competitive sports people. So the first thing I really like is the sleep tracking and the journal. So you don't have to turn anything on to turn the sleep tracking on. You basically just wear it all the time. You go to sleep, it tracks it and you process in the morning. When you click process, it processes how well you slept based on the various metrics. And then you fill in a journal. So this is the kind of key thing for me, is that it basically means that you can track different variables and how they affect your sleep, and it presents it in a really great way. So either during your weekly or monthly performance assessments, it gives you a big graph filled with all the things. So like, if you meditated that day, did it affect your sleep? If you had sex, did it affect your sleep? If you wore blue light blocking glasses, did it affect your sleep? There's loads of different ones that you can kind of play with and change around. And I find that it's really good and it gives really practical habit-based advice for improving your sleep, which is so key to performance. Second of all, I really like the recovery score. For me, as a rugby player, I get told what to train, what times I have to train, a weekly schedule, and it's pretty rigid. Although obviously if I'm feeling really bad one day, they're not going to push me as hard. So for me, this is about how well I can recover. And it's a really good way of seeing what I do on my days off or after training, how that affects my recovery. Thirdly, the app. So the app is so good. It's basically like a fitness or athlete's complete dream. It tracks so many things, it's got so many good graphs, it's really easy to use, and it makes recovering and making sure you're in a good place physically really fun to do. This kind of quantifies it and makes it a really good metric that you can use, or you can use with your coaches to help improve your performance and your recovery. So there's a few things I don't like about the Whoop strap, and the first and kind of main one is the fact that I actually can't wear it during training. As you can see, it's not too chunky, but there's a little bit of kind of thickness to it. And it basically means that if I'm going on the floor or getting hit in contact, that it either comes off or it really hurts. I've heard of some people like strapping up loads, or you can get an arm strap. So there are ways around it and you have to play around with it, but I personally don't feel comfortable playing with it or training with it. And that's going to affect the strain scores, how hard my day was, and then I'm not sure it's going to give an accurate recovery if it doesn't know what I did in my training session. That's quite a big fault for it, for me, for either contact sports or team sports. But if you're an individual athlete or you do something that doesn't involve getting hit and moves around a lot, I think the activity tracking and how it works is really, really good. So the second thing I don't particularly like is the strain score. And obviously I think it's been calculated on a load of different metrics, a load of data, and it could be really reflective, but I actually don't think it's as reflective as I feel on how hard my day was. For example, any cardiovascular activity is obviously harder on the heart, gets your heart rate higher than doing weight training, especially if you're doing strength training where it's a really short amount of reps and a really long rest period, so your heart rate doesn't get up too much. Even though the strength session is going to put a lot of stress on my body, both mentally and physically, it doesn't come out on the strain because my heart rate hasn't been elevated. Whereas I went for a 10-minute run, I'd get the same strain score as an hour really tough gym session. So I feel it's not particularly reflective of strain. And also for kind of day-to-day people who are going to use it who aren't competitive athletes, I think a step counter kind of does the job. It's just a metric to track how much you're moving around, and that's a key factor for weight loss, increasing your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And I think a step count does that fine, and this doesn't have a step count. And even if you've been sitting down all day and you've been walking around or doing lots of household chores or lots of work, the strain score is still really low. So even if you might be worn out or tired, it doesn't say that you've done anything. You could use a normal wear-on one. It will tell you your steps. You can try and increase that, and then you can base how you feel off it. The last thing I don't like is the fact that it's a little bit uncomfortable. I think considering it's something you're wearing 24/7, it's pretty good, but because it's quite tight, and for some reason this bit makes my skin go, I don't know if you can see that, but it makes my skin go pretty weird and pretty dry. So that's just something to bear in mind if you're wearing it all the time. So in conclusion, I think it teaches really, really good habits for recovery and sleep. I love the app. I think the weekly and monthly performance assessments that you'll get on the app and on the website are super detailed, and if you want to go into that and geek out on all the things that affect your sleep and your recovery, then it's really, really good for that. I don't think it's particularly great for people who play team sports or people who do contact sports. That's just my opinion. I think if you really wanted to, you can wear it and it'd be great, but for me, that takes away a bit of value in wearing it. I mentioned that as well that it's a subscription and you have to do 6 months. And will I keep having it after 6 months? I'm not sure, because like at the moment we're locked down because of coronavirus, so I'm not training, so it's great because I can have all my activity on here, all my training sessions I'm doing at home are on here, all my sleep's on here. But when I'm back in full training, I know I won't be wearing it during rugby training, so will the usefulness of it go down a little bit? I think it probably will. So I'd say a gut feeling would say I probably won't have it for longer than 6 months. I might look into getting a Garmin or an Apple Watch that is designed for not wearing if I'm doing a rugby session or something like that, just to track my sleep, as well as seeing how active I am outside of exercise. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all your support, and hopefully everyone is safe out there, staying at home. If you've got any questions about this video, drop us a comment or a DM, and as always, if you need anything, just give us a shout. We'd be happy to help. Cheers.